Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to another episode of the Think Clinical Podcast. My name is Hamza. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for all you do for us. Today's episode is going to be around marketing for doctors and the reality of the situation where doctors are made to believe that just being excellent in medicine would attract patients regardless. But the reality is that if you don't market, you don't exist. So this is another episode. Thank you so much. Remember to subscribe, like, and share, and we will jump right into it. So there's a myth around just being good enough, and when you look at the healthcare sector, it's very important that you understand the importance of marketing yourself and not relying on the fact that you're just good enough as a clinician. Now, there was a 0.73 correlation between marketing investments and patient volume. Now, when you look at that was from a study in the Journal of Medical Practice Management that surveyed about 1,200 private practices, and they found zero correlation between clinical outcomes and patient volume. But they, however, found a 0.73 correlation between marketing investments and patient volume. So, again, when as a clinician you finish medical school and you tell yourself, or you are being told, that you don't need to market, but you just have to be the good doctor and your clinical outcomes to speak for themselves. Yes, you do need to have clinical outcomes. It's a basic fundamental requirement for you to be able to run a successful healthcare business. But being good enough or being good doesn't matter if nobody knows that you exist. So you have to be able to strategically position yourself to market. Now, this is an uncomfortable truth, and I always do this with numbers if you followed me for a while. Now, when you look at the research on consumer behavior in healthcare, 77% of patients use search engines before booking an appointment, which is the reality of what we have on the market now. 72% of patients read online reviews as their first step in finding a new provider. Again, marketing. 88% of patients trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. So you see where I'm going with this. So even though you may be good and your clinical outcomes may feed into some of these conversations, you need to be sure that people know how to find you, and you're in the right places where people are looking to be able to find you if they need you. So here's the lie doctors are taught all the time, that marketing is beneath you and you are professionals and medicine should speak for itself. That's a big lie, and you should never even fall for something like that in your most remote conversations. Now, when we look at this in the context of everything that we need to be paying attention to as providers and as business people, we have to look at why quality doesn't drive demand. Because the easiest thing for you to believe is that if I'm really good at what I do, I shouldn't have any problem getting things or getting people to walk it through my door. But this is the problem. If you're really good at what you do, it doesn't drive demand. So let's get clinical about why quality alone fails. The reason number one is that patients can't evaluate clinical quality. That's just it. Every research that I've seen and I've read, and every research that I have looked into, there's no way patients are able to objectively evaluate or assess clinical quality. You can assess how they feel, they can access the successes that they've had with you, but as to whether that was quality clinical work, they cannot assess that. So they can't tell you the different diagnosis was thorough, they can't evaluate your surgical technique, they just know they are well, they just know they did well, or they recovered from whatever they're suffering from. And again, yes, that could be directly related to your clinical skill, but there's no way objectively for them to evaluate your clinical quality. What they can evaluate is how long they wait, their wait time, your bedside manner, your office aesthetics, and your online presence. So a study in Health Affairs found that when patients rate physicians, their satisfaction score correlate with amenities and communication style and not clinical outcomes. This is the research. We can choose to either go with it or not. That is the reality. Reason number 2 why quality doesn't drive demand is that trust is built through visibility and not competence. The mere exposure effect, documented in hundreds of psychology studies, showed that familiarity breeds trust. Patients must trust doctors they have heard of, seen content from, or being referred to by people they trust. So your clinical excellence is irrelevant. All these other drivers are what really drive patients or demand for you. Third reason why quality doesn't drive demand is that the best solution doesn't win. The most trusted solution is what wins. So research from the Harvard Business Review analyzed purchasing decisions across multiple industries, including healthcare. When customers can't evaluate quality directly, they rely on trust signals. That's brand recognition. They look at social proof, and they look at authority markers. This is the reality, and this is why quality doesn't drive demand for you. So what actually is healthcare marketing? Now let's debunk that myth. The marketing means, it doesn't mean you go in and being sleazy and being manipulative and trying to tell people what you are not. It's making sure that the right patients can find you when they need you. So you're positioning yourself in the right places such that when people need to see you, they see you, not you going out there and selling a bunch of nonsense to people and hoping that that will make them come. That's it. That's the whole game. So let me break it down and what effective marketing looks like. First component is SEO and local search engine optimization. When someone searches dermatologist near me, you should be at the top. So you're at the right place. You're not selling them nonsense. You're just being in the right place and where they can find you. And according to Mars, 75% of searchers never scroll past the first page of Google results. I am one of them. And if you are not there, you functionally doesn't or don't exist. So the average cost to get there is about $1,500 to $3,000 a month for local SEO strategy. And the average return, according to software advice, practice investing in SEO see an average of 30% increase in new patient appointments within 6 months. That's not manipulation. That is fundable. Number 2, reputation management. A study from the Pew Research Center found 82% of patients read online reviews before choosing a healthcare provider. And here's the truth. According to healthcare health grades, one negative review can cost a practice up to 30 potential patients, just one. So you could have thousands and thousands and thousands of positive reviews, but one negative one could cost you over 30 potential patients. That's why most of these business and healthcare institutions get very worried when they get a 1-star review, because that could cost them more than all the positive reviews you have. So are you actively soliciting reviews from satisfied patients? Are you responding professionally to negative feedback? Because the fact that you are that good doesn't mean somebody or everybody's going to be happy with you. Some people will not. And you have to look into that. The component number 3, marketing and authority building. So research from Demand Gen Report shows that 47% of buyers consume 3 to 5 pieces of content before engaging with sales representative. In healthcare, that means patients are reading blog posts, watching videos, and consuming educational content before they are calling your office. If you're not creating content, you are consuming your competitors' content and calling them instead. That's the truth. So let's look at what the trust economy then looks like. Healthcare doesn't reward the best, it rewards the most trusted. Whether you like it or not, that is what it is. And trust is built through consistent visibility, education, and reputation. So let me give you some real examples. Example number 1, Dr. X, a board-certified family physician who started making educational YouTube videos. His clinical skills didn't change, his visibility did. Results: over 12 million subscribers and a practice with a year-long waiting period. Example number 2, Cleveland Clinic. They invested millions of content in content marketing, not because they are worse physicians than competing hospitals, but because they understand the trust drives patient choice. Their health blog gets over 3 million visits monthly. That's 3 million opportunities to build trust before a patient heads over to care. Here's your action framework. Claim your digital real estate. So Google Business Profile, Health Grades, Doc Vitals. If you're not there, you're invincible. Secondly, create educational content consistently. 1 blog post per week or 2 social media posts per week. Pick one platform and dominate it. And systemize reputation management. Send review requests to every satisfied patient within 48 hours of their visit. And the last thing is to track what matters. New patient inquiries, source of patient referrals, cost per patient acquisition. You need to be able to track those. Now, the choice is yours. But remember, if you don't market, you don't exist. Regardless of how skillful you are, regardless of how good of a doctor you are. This has been another episode of the Think Clinical Podcast. Thank you so much, and I wish you a good day.